axis of the media, the Democrats, and who else? Celebrities usually they like to chime in too.
Right, and they jumped to Twitter right away, of course. Yeah. So Amy Schumer took to Twitter. She's got a new movie coming out. She says, alert, House just voted to repeal the ACA and defund Planned Parenthood. Call your senators to stop the bill.
There we go. And Patton Oswalt, I have no idea who this famous celebrity is, to be honest. I hear he starred in Ratatouille as a voice.
I do love Ratatouille, but I have no idea who he is.
But
he did play sheriff in one of my favorite shows.
Okay. Anyway, he says, I'll do what I can to make November 6, 2018 a dawn to dusk nightmare for the GOP. Bleep these smirking, entitled frauds. Tick, tick, tick.
And this is from John Legend. Says, has someone put together a list of Dem challengers I can donate to oust Republicans in swing districts? Because, you know, that's been so effective in the past.
Well, yeah. Let's bring in Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent and host of the podcast Renegade Republican, to talk about it. Dan, great to see you this morning. Yeah, I mean, the reason Hillary Clinton won the presidency, all these celebrities were out there in force.
Yeah, they were an integral part of that 2016 Hillary Clinton landslide. You know, this is what's really telling about this. What was it, a day or two before the election, the Clinton-Trump election, she went to Pennsylvania and did this huge rally with all of these celebrities and promptly got smoked in Pennsylvania, the first Democrat to lose the state in 2 decades. You know, Pete, in some limited circles, we would call that a clue, but it just doesn't work for the entitled celebrity crowd. So I'm begging them to keep it up, you know?
Dan, you know what's amazing about that rally you're talking about? I was in Pennsylvania the next day, and that rally, they were trying to get college kids to come in from universities. They were trying to bust people in, and no one was showing up to that event in Western Pennsylvania.
They should have paid them.
Yeah, I mean, there really was no one wanted to go.
Right. That's what I call hardcore grassroots. Yeah. When you have to pay people and force them on the bus to attend the rally.
Really,
this is just a really big problem.
That's really connecting with the American people.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, Dan, we want to get your thoughts on another issue. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that me as a conservative, I like this, and I hope it continues, because the disconnect between Hollywood and the entertainment community and the average American is the chasm's growing wider by the day, and it really only promotes more Republican victories at the local, federal,
and it's just such a knee-jerk echo chamber where, you know, Democrats chant, nah, hey, goodbye on the House floor to the 2018 midterms. Then Stephen Colbert talks about it, and then celebrities tweet. I mean, that recipe didn't work in 2016. In fact, it shows such blatant disrespect for the average voter, and but it's important because it's a narrative war here with this. They're saying that the conservatives want to kill kids and grandma through their health care proposal. That's the narrative they're pushing.
Yeah, people don't believe that crap. And think about it. Well, what does a coal miner in West Virginia have in common with John Legend? A coal miner who believes in God, family, and country. Right. I mean, really, what does he have in common with the Hollywood community that's secular? It's a hookup culture in Hollywood, and they frankly couldn't give a hoot about the country. They only care about their paychecks. So the chasm just grows wider between us and them.
Yeah, well, I know which person has more of an impact at the polls. That is for sure. We want to get your thoughts on this as well while you're here. So the FBI is saying that biased media narratives is to blame for violence against police. Here's what the FBI saying about it. They say it appears that immediately following the incidents, officer-involved shootings, assailants were exposed to a singular narrative by news organizations and social media of police misconduct and wrongdoing. In many cases, this singular narrative came from the subject's friends and family and witnesses who often knew the subject long before law enforcement provided their findings to the public. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Abby, this is real. I keep contact with a lot of cop friends of mine still, even ones I went through the police academy with, and they're telling me now that these guys are terrified. I don't mean terrified like frightened. I mean scared of the backlash of being involved in any use of force incident because they know they won't be backed up by the politicians who are going to look to make an example out of them. And these guys don't want to go to jail for something that they did with the best of intentions to protect themselves or others. They're really scared of this.
No, you're right. I mean, law enforcement, they fall behind the narrative that grows in the media as cameras get shoved in the face of family members who oftentimes are quite hyperbolic and blaming the police. And then pretty soon you've got protests and it accelerates out of control.
Yeah, guys, this Ferguson effect is very real. I had one cop friend of mine tell me that if they're not called out on a radio run, in other words, Central 911 doesn't call them there, that they'll very rarely stop for a discretionary police action because they know they're going to become, you know, YouTube infamous the minute they stop at a site. No one helps. They just pull out the cameras.
Wow, that is so true. And a sad reality we live in. Dan Bongino.